An important announcement from HDFC Bank. A giant interest rate for your fixed deposit that you deposit this month. Enjoy special interest rates based on deposit amount and the government security. Call 0718 800 999. HDFC.
In a few moments, the news.
A giant interest rate for your fixed deposit that you deposit this month. Enjoy special interest rates based on deposit amount and the government security.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The time is 6:15. Here is the news, edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe, read by Victor Raj. Let's take a look at the headlines of the local news. Quarantine curfew imposed in Gampaha district from 10 p.m. today to 5 a.m. on Monday. And an adjournment debate on the corona risk will be held in Parliament on Friday. The government assures to take all measures to control the spread of coronavirus. Japan grants $9.6 million for Sri Lanka's program to control COVID-19. Foreign news. New York Times says U.S. President Trump maintains a bank account in China. Sports news, cricket. Salman Khan's family buys Sri Lanka's Premier League's Candy franchise. Local news in detail. The National Operations Center to prevent the spread of COVID-19 says that quarantine curfew has been imposed in Gampaha district from 10 p.m. today to 5 a.m. on Monday. Minuwangoda corona cluster has increased to 2,451. 109 infected persons have been found today. 37 of them are employees of Minuwangoda garment factory and their contacts at quarantine centers. 20 contacts of the employees were found today from the society. The other 49 were found from the Palyaguda wholesale fish market. An adjournment debate on the corona risk will be held on Friday in Parliament. The decision has been taken during the Parliament Affairs Committee meeting held today under the patronage of Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abewardena. The condolence motion, which was scheduled on that day, will not be taken. Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa inquired today in Parliament about the spread of coronavirus, and MP Anura Kumar Dissanayake requested a Parliament debate. Accordingly, the governing party agreed to conduct it as an adjournment debate on Friday. The debate will take place from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on that day without oral questions and the lunch break. Minister Keheli Rambukwala says the 20th Amendment to the Constitution has been presented democratically. Taking part in the debate in Parliament, he said that the draft bill has not been introduced by force. Minister Mahindananda Lutkamaga said that the opposition is trying to create an unnecessary fear in society about the amendment. MP Kayantha Karunatilaka said that the 20th Amendment is a hard blow on democracy of the country. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. A giant interest rate for your fixed deposit that you deposit this month. Enjoy special interest rates based on deposit amount and the government security. Call 0718 800 999. Continuing with more local news, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that the government will take maximum measures to prevent the spread of coronavirus. He mentioned this while attending the Navaratri festival last night at the Temple Trees. The march to build the country has commenced with the Vistas of the Prosperity Manifesto. The Prime Minister pointed out that the law-abiding and morally sound society can build by only coming together by all communities. The Prime Minister said that the government has ensured the right of people to follow any religion. The Navaratri festival has been organized by the Prime Minister's office according to the health guidelines. Awarding of scholarships to 6 school students took place under the patronage of the Prime Minister with the assistance of Sri Lanka India Community Council. Japan has donated $9.6 million to the program implemented by Sri Lanka to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Japanese ambassador in Sri Lanka, Akira Sugiyama, mentioned this when he met Minister Dala Salaperum recently at the Ministry of Power and Energy. The ambassador said that Japan will continue to provide technical and financial cooperation to develop the local power sector. The ambassador appreciated the program implemented by the government to develop the local energy field. He said that Japan has paid its attention on Sri Lanka building an LNG power plant and supplying liquefied natural gas. Minister Dala Salaperum pointed out that the President has given a target of achieving 70% of electricity through green and renewable energy sources by 2030. Minister Bandula Gunawardena says that the funds will be allocated from the forthcoming budget for the welfare of local exporters. He said that the aim is to accelerate export promotions within next year with the strategies that are being implemented at present by the Ministry of Trade. The minister said that more attention will be paid on value-added exports than to exporting raw materials. The Ministry of Environment has commenced a program to recycle empty carbon pens and toothbrushes that have been discarded. A special container will be introduced for each school to dump empty carbon pens. 2,000 empty carbon pens and 500 toothbrushes can be placed in the container. A private company has come forward to purchase the container after it is filled. Minister Mahinda Amravira said that the program will be launched on Monday. That ends local news.
An important announcement from HDFC Bank. A giant interest rate for your fixed deposit that you deposit this month. Enjoy special interest rates based on deposit amount and the government security. Call 0718 800 999. HDFC.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vedha Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedha Mahatmya.
Dr. Sudat Samaravira of the Epidemiology Unit of the Ministry of Health has requested the public to have their confidence in the statistics presented by the government about the spread of the coronavirus. He said that the government has no need to cover up true information as the virus cannot be controlled by hiding it. During a media briefing in Colombo today, he requested the people to follow advice given by the government. Speaking at the media briefing, further he said that the coronavirus is a global pandemic and it could rise in society at any moment. He said that the quarantine curfew has been imposed in certain areas to limit travelling and to control the spread of the virus. He further said it is important for the people in areas where the quarantine curfew has not been imposed to stay at home. He said that health authorities expect the support of everyone at this moment. That came to you in main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedha Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Moving on to Watchlight. The Colombo Stock Exchange now sends a customized daily trade alert to investors at the end of each trade day, notifying them of all transactions that are carried out through their securities accounts in Central Depository Systems, CDS. The alert system has been introduced by the CSE in a move to encourage investors to track and monitor their CDS accounts. This service is provided free of any cost to the investor. That ends Watchlight. Moving on to world news, let's take a look at the headlines. New York Times says U.S. President Trump maintains a bank account in China. 7 people will appear before an anti-terrorism judge into the beheading of the school teacher in France. Many killed and wounded during visa stampede in Afghanistan. World news in detail. The New York Times has reported U.S. President Donald Trump has a Chinese bank account and spent years pursuing business projects in the country. The account is controlled by Trump International Hotels Management and paid local taxes between 2013 and 2015. According to a Trump spokesman, it was set up to explore the potential for hotel deals in Asia. Mr. Trump has been criticized of U.S. firms doing business in China and sparked a trade war between the two countries. 7 people will appear before an anti-terrorism judge as part of an investigation into the beheading of a school teacher in France. Samuel Pelty, aged 47, was attacked shortly after he showed cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad to his pupils. The attacker, 18-year-old Abdullah Anzaro, was shot dead by police. 2 minors as well as a parent who reportedly exchanged text messages with the killer are among those who will appear in court today. At least 11 women have been killed and many more injured in a stampede in a stadium in Afghanistan, where people were applying for visas. A local spokesman said the incident happened after thousands of people gathered to request permits to Pakistan. The crowd had been redirected to a sports stadium instead of the usual visa center in the city of Jalalabad. Visa applications to Pakistan have just resumed after a 7-month pause due to the pandemic. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. New York Times says U.S. President Trump maintains a bank account in China. 7 people will appear before an anti-terrorism judge into the beheading of a school teacher in France. Many killed and wounded during a visa stampede in Afghanistan. That ends World News.
Development News is brought to you by...
My wife always sets a full lunch table even if it's just the 2 of us. She always expects people to drop by, like maybe the army.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan නෙවෙයි.
Sri Lanka added more workers to the agriculture sector during April-June second quarter of the 2020 amid the urgent need to ensure food security and to bring in much foreign exchange as possible to the economy best by the pandemic. According to the Census and Statistics Department data, 32,397 new jobs were added to the broader agriculture sector, which includes forestry and fishery during second quarter, taking the total employed in the sector to 2,159,609 or 27.1% of the total employed persons in Sri Lanka. That came to you in Development News.
When Tati bought a new family car, it wasn't just for the 4 of us.
It's a 10-seater van. Enough for friends and relatives too.
Mummy insisted on building an extra room in our new house. Well, you never know who'll come to stay. We need more pillows too.
When I was studying late, Nangi would come by to help.
No, I don't know physics, but I do know you need a Munchie Super Cream Cracker.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others.
When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves.
Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan නෙවෙයි.
Sports News is brought to you by
Munchie Chocolate Cream Biscuit. Chocolate in every bite.
Cricket news. Bollywood star Salman Khan's family has bought the Candy Tuskers franchise in Sri Lankan Premier League that show its player draft conducted over the last 2 days and one that is slated to begin on 21st November. Salman Khan's younger brother, Shohail, and father, noted script writer Shalim Khan, are part of the consortium. Shohail Khan International LLP that has made the investment. The Khans confirmed the development to media yesterday and said they see a lot of potential in the league. Rugby news. Bats will take part in Saturday's Premiership final against ex-Terham Chiefs at the Twickenham, despite 11 COVID-19 cases within the club in the past week. Premiership Rugby confirmed Lee Blackett's side was clear to play after the latest round of testing. Bristol was on standby if Wasps, who beat them in the semi-finals, had been unable to fulfill the fixture. The decision was taken by the Rugby Football Union, Premiership Rugby and Public Health England officials. Olympics. A Tokyo Metropolitan Government survey showed almost 80% of the volunteers for next year's arranged Summer Olympics are concerned about the spread of the novel coronavirus. In response to the findings, Tokyo Metropolitan Government said it has been creating infection control manuals to ensure a safe and secure environment for the volunteer activities and that further training would be provided. Online training will continue until March, when the volunteers will be notified of which role they will fill at the games, which begin in July. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the... And that comes to an end, the sports news.
Hey guys, we've got our very own Queen Bear here to review something for us.
Okay, here we go. Is the right amount of crunch and OMG so much chocolate. The texture is so good. It's creamy and velvety and just so much chocolate. The packaging is super cool and new and there's like so much chocolate. And OMG, the taste, it tastes like so good and there's so much chocolate. Like with every bite. 10 out of 10 for me.
Munchie Chocolate Cream Biscuit. Chocolate in every bite.
Empower your dreams with NSV Wings. NSV Wings. Recharge the high goals.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka's Soft Logic Finance, a licensed non-banking lender, said it had received the permission from the Colombo Stock Exchange to raise 1.9 billion rupees from a rights issue of the shares to shareholders. The firm said in a statement that the rights share issue is underwritten by the immediate parent of Logic Capital PLC, ensuring that the capital infusion will be made statement. The rights issue will be put up shareholder approval on 9th November. That ends Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The wait is over and it's time for you to experience happiness. It's time to remap the graph for success. It's time to rebuild your empire. It's time to initiate your entrepreneur dreams. Empower your dreams with NSV Wings. Get your 2-year personal loan for just 7% per annum, starting from 500,000 rupees to 10 million rupees. All you need is just one guarantee. NSV Wings. Recharge the high goals.
Economic news, courtesy of
Just move on real time, save more, LOLC real time. Paying the premium for transactions, simply save now real time. Day night, no trouble for your transactions. LOLC real time. Download LOLC Finance real time app for your LOLC savings account. Attractive interest rates, transactions anytime, anywhere with a zero cost and more benefits.
The Sri Lankan Economic Summit 2020 will have a lineup of timely plenary discussions under the theme Roadmap for Takeoff, Driving a People-Centered Economic Revival. Industry specialists will come together for a dialogue on how COVID-19 will impact the private sector's role in driving growth. The discussion will explore how Sri Lanka's private sector can be competitive and agile locally and globally. The Ceylon Chambers of Commerce will be organizing the 20th Sri Lankan Economic Summit on the 1st and 2nd of December 2020 at the Shangri-La Hotel, Colombo. That ends Economic News.
Congratulations on your promotion. When will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Moving on to weather report, the Met Department says showers will occur at several places in the western and sub-Ragamuffin provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara, Gol and Mathura districts. Fairly strong gusty winds, about 50 km per hour, can be expected in north, central and northwestern provinces and in the Trincomalee, Batticaloa, Mathura and Hambantota districts and in the western slopes of the Central Hills. That ends the weather report. To wrap up the evening news broadcast on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Quarantine curfew imposed in the Kampaha district from 10 p.m. today to 5 a.m. on Monday. An adjournment debate on the corona risk will be held in Parliament on Friday. The government assures to take all measures to control the spread of coronavirus. Japan grants $9.6 million for Sri Lanka's program to control COVID-19. Foreign news, New York Times says US President Trump maintains a bank account in China. Sports news, cricket, Salman Khan's family buys Sri Lanka's Premier League's Kandy franchise.